Hello everyone, welcome back to my new video. So today we will be talking about a very important topic, that is the Srotodusti. Now, if we just look into the term itself, Srotodusti, it is made up of two terms, that is Shrot, that is the Shrotas, and Dusti means the vitiation. So basically Srotodusti is all about the vitiation of the Shrotas, that is deviation from its normal physiological condition. Now, starting with the introduction. Let's before diving into directly the pathological part, we should know about the basic physiology of the shrotas. So, what are shrotas? A small explanation, that is, shrotas are the minute channels through which transportation occurs throughout the body. So, basically, you can think of a human body that has various channels interlinked all over the body, and these channels are nothing but the shrotas, by the help of which different dhatus, dosh, mal, and ahar pak, all the other important thing moves throughout the body. So if we look into the Nirukti, Acharya Charak in Sutrasthan have mentioned that Shravanat Shodasi, that means the one through which it flows. Let us consider this as a human body. So it has innumerable channels inside the body. That is, the number of Shrotas are innumerable according to one reference. And it is via these channels through which the different things flows throughout the body. Now, the characteristic feature, which is also known as the Swarup. So, Acharya Charak in Vimansthan have mentioned that Swadhatu Samavarnani Vritta Sthulanya Anuni cha Shrotasing Dirghanya Kritya Pratana Sadrishyani cha. If we break the entire slok, we can get it that the first word, that is the Swadhatu Samavarnani, it is meaning that color similar to the dhatus. That means, for example, if we talk about the Rasa dhatus, then the Rasa Dhatu will be flowing via the Rasavaha Shrotas. So what does it mean? That it means that the Rasavaha Shrotas will have the color just like that of the Ras Dhatu. That is why Swadhatu Samavarnani means Swadhatu like that of the Dhatu, Samavarnani same color. Next we have Vritta. That means Vritta means circular in shape, and Sthula Anya Anuni. That means sthul means macro and anu means micro. Here there is a sandhi. That is why it is macro and micro channel. That means there are both bigger and the minute channels present in the body. And also shrotasing dirghanya kritya. It means that dirgha means they are larger, and also kritya dirghanya anukritya. It means that it has having a wider structure, that is starting from gross to subtle, means they can be both macro and micro, and they can be large, and also starting from the gross to very subtle from. So these are the characteristic feature, that is the Swarupa Shrot. Now if we look into the type, so grossly we can divide it into two parts or two categories, that is the Bahirmukh Shrotas and another is the Antarmukh Shrotas. Now what is Bahirmukh means? As the name suggests, Bahirmukh means the one that is happening opening outside the body, and Antarmukh are nothing but those shrotas that are fully present inside the body and does not have any external opening out of the body. Now if we talk about the Bahirmukh shrotas, that is the external shrotas, they basically are of 9 types. What are they? They are the 2 nasal cavity, 2 ear orifice, 1 mouth, 2 genital, 1 anus path and 1 anal path. So these are the 9 Bahirmukhi shrotas present in our body. And also the Antarmukh Shrotas, that is the channel that are present inside the body. Now there is a trick to remember all this. First, the 3 Shrotas, that is the Pran, Anna and Udak. Now what does Pranavaha Shrotas basically carries? The air. The Annavaha Shrotas basically carries the food particles, the essence and the other part, and Udakavaha Shrotas carries the water. So if we just look into it closely, we intake all these things. So the first 3 Shrotas are the Shrotas that is basically involved in the intaking of the basic thing, that is air, food and water. Next we have 7 Shrotas based upon the Shapta Dhatu, that is Ras, Rakta, Mamsa, Med, Bhacha, Asti and Shukra. So these 7 are the Sapta Dhatu, and via these Shrotas the Sapta Dhatu actually flows. And last 3 are those Shrotas via which the things get removed or passes throughout the body, that is the Shwed, Mutra and Purish. Now these 3 Shwed, that is all these 3 Shrotas are via the which we can eliminate the toxins or the malas outside the body. For example, we use the Mutravaha Shrotas to expel out the Mutra, the Purishavaha Shrotas to expel the Purish, and the Sweat to eliminate the excessive toxin in our body. Basically, the sweat glands. And we have the Mutravaha Shrotas, it can include the various ductile system, and the Purishavaha Shrotas can be the somewhat compared to that of the cecum and other parts. So this is a trick to remember all the 13 Shrotas with this simple trick. Now, Srotodusti Nidan means what are the causative factor for the Srotodusti. So Acharya Charak in Vimanstan along with Bhagavad in Ashtangarida Sharistan have mentioned that Aharascha Viharascha Yasya Dosha Gunehe Samaha Dhatu Virvi Gunas Chapi Shrotasang Sa Pradushakaha. So it is clearly mentioned that Ahar and Vihar, so those factors that are responsible for the vitiation of the dhatus, the same factors are also responsible for the dushti of the shrotas. For example, let us consider the if we think that someone is eating excessively heavy or excessively cold food, or it can be anything, then what it will cause, that is it will be causing harm or vitiation to the ras dhatu, and as a result, since this is causing vitiation to the ras dhatu, the same factor, this nidan, excessively heavy and cold food, will also be acting as the nidan for the rasavaha Srotodusti. Thus, Srotodusti is mainly caused by the nidan that causes the vitiation of the dhatus as well. Now, what are the characteristics or how are the Srotodusti features seen? Acharya Charak in Vimanstan have mentioned that Ati Pravritti Sango Basiranang Grandhya Apabiva Vimarga Gamanang Chahapi Shrotasang Dushti Lakshanam. Now, this is very important from Rog Nidan point of view, because this is the main factor by which the disease occurrence takes place. There are mainly 4 Srotodusti Lakshan, that is, first, Ati Pravritti, that means hyperactive, Sanga means hypoactive. Vimarga Gaman means abnormal movement, and Shira Granthi means obstructive swelling. Now, let us understand all these 4 terms with the help of a diagram. I have drawn this diagram. So, the first image, that is the one, this is a normal Shrot. Now, we can see that, let us consider this tube-like structure to be a Shrot, and these small colored particles are the various structures that are flowing through it. Now, if we look while that of the second picture, that is, on the same Shrot, we can see in place of the first slide, there are more number of colorful dots, which indicates that there is Ati Pravritti, means increased or excessive flow through the same Shrotas that was flowing earlier. So, this is nothing what we meant as Ati Pravritti, that is the excessive flow. Next, if we look into the concept of Shira Granthi, again, the first one is the normal Shrotas, whereas in the second one, we can see that there are various nodular and obstructive swelling. So, for this reason, if we just look closely into the flow of the dhatus, that here there is continuation, but however, from this affected region, the number of dhatus flowing or the number of contents basically is very less. So, this is what we mean by Shira Granthi, that is, there will be obstructive swelling. And next, we have the Sanga. The Sanga means basically the obstruction, any kind of obstruction kind. So, as a result of obstruction, there can be 2 possibilities. Either there will be complete obstruction, for example, the dhatus are flowing up, it can be anything, dhatus, mal, or anything. Here, they are normally flowing, but however, due to this obstruction, in this region, there is lack of the dhatus flowing. So, either there is complete obstruction or there is partial obstruction. For example, here the obstruction is not that much, that is why still the number of dhatus can be seen. So, basically in Shanga, there is obstruction that can cause either lesser in the quantity of the material or complete absence. And lastly, I have kept this page blank in order to explain the Vimarga Gaman. Now, Vimarga Gaman term indicates that Gaman or movement of the Shrotas content into other region rather than its own Shrotas. For example, if the dhatus or the mal or anything is to be followed by this Shrotas flow, what happening, it is in the normal region. But what is happening is that in case of Vimarga Gaman, the condition changes. That is, in place of flowing just through this Shrot, the material are flowing outside not necessarily outside, other than its own physiological side. That means it can flow, that is either to other Shrot. For example, the Rasavaha Shrotas, instead of moving through the Rasavaha Shrotas channel, it is moving into the Raktavaha Shrotas, or it is getting entered into any other of its own side. That means basically it is getting deviated from its own region and is flowing into another region other than its own physiological pathway. So thus, with this, we can understand about the four basic concepts of Srotodusti, that is the Ati Pravritti, Shanga, Vimarga Gamanam and Siraganti. So with this, we come to end of today's topic. If you have any doubt regarding this video, do let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like my video, do like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you.